It's been like a week since Regulation MB dropped, and you're still losing to Mega Staraptor because you think it's broken. I regret to inform you that Mega Staraptor, as far as tournament results go, is not incredible. It's just kind of an okay Pokemon. So if you're losing to it consistently, one, it is a legitimate skill issue. Two, here's a bunch of ways that you can beat it. I don't know if this is a pointless video because a bunch of people already know how not to lose to Mega Staraptor. I don't even know if people are still kind of on board the Mega Staraptor hype train. As far as I'm concerned, it's like a B tier Mega that's going to be doing good in some tournaments, but is broadly being misused right now. But I'm going to be explaining to you guys just a bunch of ways to not lose to Mega Staraptor. Let's go ahead and get into it. If you guys enjoyed, leave a like, do all that. All right, so first of all, let's talk about Mega Staraptor. Why is Mega Staraptor difficult to deal with? Well, for one, it has pretty okay bulk, 85 HP, 100 defense, 90 special defense. It has great speed at 110, and it has a 140 attack stat. However, its ability contrary is what kind of breaks it in the eyes of a lot of people. You can max out that HP, you can hit a speed tier that's respectable. If you go with a jolly nature, you can just make sure you're outspeeding, I don't know, Garchomps or Charizard Ys. As you can see, like a timid max speed Charizard Y hits 167. That means that Garchomp hits 169, and that means that you hit 170 and you're outspeeding all those Pokemon, which means you move first. You go for close combat, instead of lowering your defenses, it raises both of them by one stage. You have access to Roost, Brave Bird, and Protect, and that is basically the standard Mega Staraptor set. It's often paired with Pokemon like Whimsicott to go for Side Tickle, which will basically act as a bulk up, or Side Charm, which will basically act as a Swords Dance. It also has access to Fake Tears, which will give it +2 special defense, that sort of thing. It also loves to be paired with Pokemon that grant it some form of easy recovery rather than having to click Roost. Also Redirection, most notably Sinistcha, which has Hospitality, it has Rage Powder, it defensively is quite synergistic with Staraptor. And of course, we also have Pokemon like Grimmsnarl next to it, which are able to go for Light Screen, Reflect, Fake Out, you know, all that sort of things. And it also still has access to moves, you know, like Fake Tears to help it out. So there's basically a bunch of really annoying Staraptor teams just kind of running around on ladder. Matter of fact, let me pull one up. All right, here is a Mega Staraptor team that I just took from a random Limitless tour. This seems fairly standard. We have, you know, Jolly, Mega Staraptor, Intimidate. We have a Side Charm, Encore, Whimsicott, Sinistcha to help heal it, and of course Incineroar, which can also go for Side Parting Shot on Staraptor, giving it an attack boost while pivoting Incineroar out. So yeah, I mean, it's on a dual Mega team, but as far as losing to Staraptor specifically goes, that's what we're covering today. That's kind of what we're looking at. Now, I am going to kind of separate these in order of method, right? So that means I have to move Metagross kind of to the end here. Okay, first off, we're going to talk about Pokemon that Mega Staraptor just kind of can't touch, and those are the Ghost Steels, Aegislash and Goldengo, right? Aegislash and Goldengo, neither of them are able to be close combated, which is to your benefit as Staraptor can't boost its stats. It has to go for Brave Bird, and both of them have fairly impressive bulk, 8795 on Goldengo and 6140 on Aegislash. They also have great offensive stats, so the fact that they're most of the time not going to be able to boost on you means that you'll be able to hit them for pretty major damage. I'm a big fan of Spell Tag Aegislash. As you can see, a Poltergeist into a Mega Staraptor, because Mega Staraptor turns into a fighting type instead of a normal type, is doing 36 to 43 in shield form, so let's switch that to Blaze. Not Blaze, Blade. And you can see you're doing 68 to 81. That is a lot of immediate damage that is difficult for Staraptor to deal with. Now, granted, yes, they can close combat a partner, and then, you know, they have a boost. But the fact of the matter is, you're making it difficult for them to even get going in the first place. Like, you have to make sure that you have, like, a bunch of initial damage to make it so they can't just snowball out of control. One of the worst things you can do into a Mega Staraptor team is lead passively. Like, if you lead off with a Grimmsnarl, Sinistcha, Incineroar, you're going to be in for a bad time. If you see a Staraptor, you already know they're ripping that thing turn one. Just go ahead and lead off with the most aggressive Pokemon that you can. Now, Goldengo, I would argue, is in a better position to do this sort of thing because Goldengo has access to Make It Rain. And yes, Make It Rain was nerfed recently, but you have to keep in mind that Goldengo still has access to one of the most powerful steel moves in the game. Modest with access to the Life Orb or even the Metal Coat, you can see that a Make It Rain is going to be doing 63 to 73 to 73 to a Mega Staraptor. But it's fairly easy to get up to +2 with Golden Go with the proper support. That gets up to 124. And you know what? If they do close combat your partner, like let's say you lead off with Golden Go Talonflame and you go for Tailwind and you go for like a Tailwind and a Nasty Plot there, then you're going to get up to +2 and they're going to get up to +1 after the close combat, or if they decide to Brave Bird, like whatever. But yeah, +1 special defense. You can see that you're still doing incredible damage, 83 to 97, to the point where the next one is going to KO. It really is about getting that initial burst damage, and we'll see that down the road. These two are just Pokemon that can kind of easily sit in on Staraptor and a lot of its partners and not really worry too much about what it can do back to them. You're mostly able to just kind of play in creative mode against it. So yeah, these two, we're going to go with Grimmsnarl and Sableye. I would argue that these two are they're the options you're going to go with if you really just don't even want to think about the matchup. If you want to build in such a way where you never have to worry about Mega Staraptor, these are kind of the Pokemon. They're not going to be like the greatest into other matchups. I mean, like Grimmsnarl is going to be good in other matchups, but you have to give up a move on Grimmsnarl to fix the Mega Staraptor matchup, which can be a little bit At that point, you probably want to do like a Lumberry side Swagger strategy. But yeah, Swagger Grimmsnarl and also a Swagger on Sableye technically. This is a move that is able to deal with Staraptor pretty effectively because rather than increasing their attack stat by 2 and confusing it, you're decreasing their attack stat by 2 and confusing it. One of the biggest like absolute stuffs you can do in a Pokemon match is just going, hey Staraptor, you're confused and you're weak. Have fun. Now, granted, it doesn't do much beyond that in the matchup, but if you do that consistently, it is hard for Staraptor to really get anything done. Granted, there are Pokemon that are next to it that can deal with it, but if you really want to just like make it so you don't have to worry about Staraptor in particular and you can play with like a partner Mega Delphox or something, like, yeah, like that's going to be the option. Sableye is less so like this. It does have dual screens, which help you out quite a bit, but it also has like Will-O-Wisp and Swagger. I would even argue Encore is actually a really good move into Mega Staraptor because if they try to roost, you can just force them to continue doing that. If they try to protect, you can force them to continue doing that. Will-O-Wisp will cut their damage output, and Swagger does the same thing. These two, like I said, I don't think that they're a splash solution to Mega Staraptor. They're kind of just like, this team works with it. Let's go ahead and go with it. Now, let's move Mega Delphox a little further down. Next one I want to talk about is... move you down too. All right, next one I want to talk about is Haze. Now, Haze is a move that isn't super easy to come by in Pokemon Champions. As a matter of fact, only a few Pokemon learn it. Blastoise, Gengar, Palafin, Dragalge, Overqwil, Toxapex, Dragonite. And like a bunch of kind of mid-tier Pokemon that you're not going to be using. There are a few really great Pokemon that learn it. I would say Dragonite and Politoed are the two most notable. Or if you want to go with Milotic, that's also an option. I like Dragonite. Dragonite is personally my favorite answer to Mega Staraptor as far as when I'm team building. Because it basically just makes the matchup extremely playable without sacrificing a really important tool to have like a one-button click solution. Like you're not really dropping a move that Dragonite cares about. You're dropping Protect, which multi-scale Dragonite, Scale Shot, like you don't really care too much. This set is really nice because you can go for a Tailwind. Yeah, multi-scale, you don't really care about Brave Bird, Close Combat. Even if they're like boosted all the way up, you're not getting one shot by it because it has incredible bulk and you have half damage at full health. You're able to go for the Tailwind. The Tailwind is going to make it so your partner Pokemon are faster, whether that be like a Delphox or a Garchomp or a Charizard, anything you want. And then on the following turn, if they do have like stat boosts, Dragonite can Haze. Dragonite can Haze and just get rid of them. Now, a lot of people are going to say, oh, that's weird. Why would you have Scale Shot, Tailwind, and Haze? You know, this is actually like a set that has done very well in the past in tournaments. Basically, it might seem like anti-synergy to have all three of these moves. Maybe not so much Tailwind, but Scale Shot and Haze, it is useful. You're only really clicking Haze in particular situations. You're not clicking Haze like every single game. It's meant to be a, you know, a counter to these setup Pokemon like the Staraptors, like a Calm Mind Fload. And Scale Shot just allows for Dragonite to hit a speed tier where it is going to be faster than a lot of Pokemon. And even if you're not clicking Haze in that matchup, Scale Shot makes it so Dragonite hits a speed tier where if that Tailwind runs out, you can just do it again. You can even click Haze defensively. Like, if you know you're about to get KO'd by this next attack and you need Dragonite to live one more turn, just Haze yourself and reset the defense drops that you got from Scale Shot, and then maybe you'll live it. But yeah, Haze Dragonite is one of my favorite solutions. It just has a really good Staraptor matchup. Politoed. Politoed is also technically a pretty good Staraptor answer. Really, it's just the fact that it's bulky. You know, 90-75 is pretty okay. You can invest a lot, make it like a bold nature. It supports Pokemon you know, like Mega Swampert, which do not like to deal with Staraptor. So it's like an alternative to a Pelipper on a rain team. And you'll be able to go for Haze to make sure that your Swampert's actually able to deal significant damage to Staraptor. You can even argue that Mega Swampert's an answer to Staraptor, because even with a boost, let me show you this. Bear in mind that Mega Swampert got access to Wave Crash, which is basically Water-type Flare Blitz in rain, right? Adamant Nature, 32 attack, Wave Crash. Into a Mega Staraptor, you're doing 65. Sorry, that's without rain. You're doing 97 to 115 to a Mega Staraptor without any boost. If they do get a defense boost, you're still doing enough where it's a 2-hit KO, and you're faster because you have rain up. So that's like an answer that I didn't really put on this video. This channel is partnered with GamerSupps. If you want to support my work and get great tasting drinks, you can order GamerSupps through my link in the description down below, or with code Moxie boosted at checkout for 10% off. GamerSupps is a caffeinated product that I recommend only to my 18+ viewers, but my link will send you to their caffeine-free product section just in case. Every product purchased through my link supports my channel financially, so I'd really appreciate the support. Now back to the video. Aerodactyl. We're getting into the just hit it answers. So we started off with like the Mega Staraptor can't touch this Pokemon, the I hate Mega Staraptor Pokemon, the just click Haze Pokemon, and now we're getting into the just hit it Pokemon. Because to be honest, the way you beat Mega Staraptor is to just hit it. Like, I don't know why people overcomplicate it. I think that you reach a certain level of VGC where you go, at the beginning of VGC, you're sitting there and you're like, oh my god, I want to just click the moves that deal damage. Let me click Expanding Force and Psychic Terrain. Let me click Heat Wave and Sun, right? And then you like hit a certain level where you go, I'm above that. I'm going to Parting Shot and reposition myself so I can get the Nasty Plot off with my Golden Go and then go for big damage at the most opportune of times. And then eventually your brain grows like 2 more brain cells and you go, actually, I'm just going to hit things. That's where we're at, you know? You can just hit things sometimes. And these are the Pokemon that are kind of good at hitting Mega Staraptor. I have a base Aerodactyl here, but I'm pretty sure you want to go with Mega. But Aerodactyl still has respectable damage into Staraptor. Obviously, you're going to get intimidated on turn 1, but if you don't, Dual Wing Beat, even with the +1 defenses, doing decent damage, possibly a 2-hit KO. If it doesn't have the defense boost, Dual Wing Beat is doing great damage, 64 to 77, and if you are in Mega form, then yeah, your Dual Wing Beat is a one-shot into max HP Mega Staraptor. That is incredible, you're faster than it, you don't even care, it's a great Pokemon. Ninetales, let's talk about Ninetales. I like Life Orb Ninetales at this moment just because it gives me the most value out of my Blizzards, even though Ninetales doesn't have the greatest special attack set of all time. But you can see that a Timid Blizzard from Life Orb Ninetales is doing 74 to 89%. If you go Modest, you have more damage, but it's never going to one-shot a max HP Staraptor. It's mostly just a matter of like, Ninetales is most of the time going to be outspeeding Mega Staraptor because Jolly Max Speed isn't really a set. They tend to just outspeed like Garchomps and stuff. So Staraptor will go Ninetales will go first. You'll be able to get off a huge damage Blizzard. If you want to run Moonblast, that's also great damage. And it's just meant to chunk things in range of whatever's next to it. Basically, if you hit it for like 70 to 90% of its health, even if it goes for a close combat, even if it like sets up a light screen or like has something happen to it to bolster its bulk, the partner Pokemon's gonna knock it out anyways. Like, you're fine, man. You're also dealing with the Whimsicott next to it. Whimsicott does not enjoy taking this hit. Let me show you this. Sash, Tailwind, Whimsicott, Blizzard, one shot. You know, if it's not Sash, if it's Fairy Feather, one shot. But yeah, sometimes it's just a matter of doing things the easy way. Mega Delphox, same boat. Absolute same boat. Delphox is a Pokemon that, yeah, it doesn't like taking a Brave Bird from Staraptor, but bear in mind they don't really run a ton of attack because they're usually Jolly. And only can invest a little bit. So let's go with like 5 attack. They hit 165 Brave Bird. It is doing a ton of damage to you because, you know, Mega Delphox doesn't have the greatest of bulk. But with like screen, with like redirection, some kind of partner Pokemon to help you out, it is pretty easy to get up to +2 with Mega Delphox. And at that point, no rain. That Heat Wave is doing a ton of damage. Your Psyshock is just a one-shot. I mean, like, without the boost, Psyshock is not a one-shot, but you can also run Psychic. It's kind of up to your discretion. Psyshock is meant to also deal with opposing Mega Floette, where Psychic is just a catch-all for most other Pokemon. But yeah, Mega Delphox is a just-hit-it situation. One could argue that Mega Metagross is the most clear just-hit-it situation. So, Mega Metagross has a very funny move into Mega Staraptor, and it's called Psychic Fangs. Like I said, Mega Staraptor likes to pair itself with you know, intimidate users, screens users, that sort of thing. In its base form, Mega Metagross, you know, or I guess Metagross, can't be intimidated. When it Mega Evolves, it can be, but, you know, at that point, you don't really care. You've already dodged the Intimidate. Your Psychic Fangs will break screens and then deal damage. And because this thing has 145 base attack and Tough Claws, giving it a Life Orb boost on this move, Psychic Fangs is doing 107 to 128%. If it gets up to +1, you're doing 71 to 85. It's still incredibly strong into this Pokemon. It is a ridiculously strong move. I don't know if the Bullet Punch follow-up gets it. Let me see. Probably not. You usually don't run Bullet Punch on this guy. It's a roll. Yeah, it's a roll. Psychic Fangs into Bullet Punch is a roll to KO, +1 defense, Mega Staraptor with max HP. That's kind of funny. Yeah, Mega Staraptor does not like the Mega Metagross matchup. Frostlass. Frostlass is an incredible Pokemon in this metagame, similar to similar to Alolan Ninetales. Frostlass can just hit it sometimes. Obviously, Timid doesn't one-shot, because Blizzard spread damage is annoying, but there are modest Frostlass running around, and that one can one-shot. I guess Timid can one-shot as well if you're, like, you know, getting really lucky, but modest, you can just deal a bunch of initial damage, outspeed it, and be a huge threat. It is a really good Pokemon to do it. And this one's gonna shock a lot of people. Remember how I said Staraptor outspeeds Charizard? That's because it has to. You need to outspeed Charizard, because if you don't, if you have a Charizard under Tailwind, when they just hit you, they're dealing a lot of damage. Modest Weather Ball, 92 to 109%. Heat Wave, 66 to 78%. Even if this thing does go first, even if it does get a Brave Bird off, which is not going to one-shot even like a not bulky Mega Charizard Y, it's not liking the Charizard Y plus Garchomp matchup. I need you guys to remember that Charizard Y plus Scarf Garchomp is still one of the most busted cores in the game. You can just lead off with Charizard Y and the Scarf Garchomp and click Rock Slide and Heat Wave, and that's going to do like 90-something% to the Mega Staraptor combined. It's ridiculous. It is ridiculous. And because you're Scarf Garchomp, you're going to be faster on the next turn. You just pick up the KO anyways. It really is. You know, I think the point of this video is that a lot of people are really like losing their minds over Mega Staraptor being broken, but just hit it. Just hit the thing. Just smack it. That's all it takes. Anyways, this is not a Mega Staraptor slander video. I'm actually a proponent to Mega Staraptor doing well in tournaments. I think that Mega Staraptor has the potential to be a great Pokemon. That being said, I think that a lot of people are running it wrong. I think that the optimal Mega Staraptor team is going to be an alternate option on like a team. But as of right now, like the highest placing Mega Staraptor in like a huge tournament was like 68th place in a 1,000 player tournament. In these smaller tournaments, obviously Mega Staraptor is going to do a lot better, but like in a regional-esque level tournament, it's getting like 68th place, not even top 64. So yeah, I think it's just going to be an okay Mega Pokemon. I don't think it's going to be broken, and I think that it's mostly just a fact of people learning how to play against it. Just hit it. Anyways, that's me for today's video. If you guys enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.